This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. So we'll be starting with the session now. So today it will be a demo session for VLSI front-end domain. Okay. And as you might be aware, there is a demo session for VLSI backend domain tomorrow on 27th March, 9:30 a.m. Okay. So in case you know what is VLSI and you know what is VLSI front-end domain, and you know what is VLSI backend domain, and you have a Daranish, you are asking some question? You have some question? Daranish, please be in mute. Okay. So if you are aware of what is front-end domain, what is back-end domain, and you want to attend demo session of front-end domain, today is the front-end domain session. Okay. Before we go ahead, let me just introduce myself. My name is Srinivas, and I'm the founder of the institute. I have close to 15 years of work experience, and I have been doing training since 2012. So it's a around 10 years of training experience I have. So that means it's not like overall my experience is not 25 years. So I have done job and training parallelly. So I have completed my graduation in 2005, BTech MTech. Okay, this is about myself, and I'm also the main trainer for front end domain in the institute. Now today will be the demo session. As I said, it will be demo session for various domains. So what all sessions the demo will be for? Just a second. Let's see. Let me explain you. So it will be a demo session for VLSI front end. If you see, VLSI front end domain itself has multiple sub aspects, what we call as design architecture. Then we have Rtl design, that is basically Verilog coding. Then we have something called as Rtl integration. Then functional verification. So in front end domain, you will have all these sub aspects. One is the design architecture, one is Rtl design, one is Rtl integration, one is functional verification. So the person who does design architecture is called as design architect. The person who does Rtl design is called as what? Can you tell me what do you think it will be called? It will be called as Rtl design engineer. Tell me what this person will be called as. Tell me. This guy will be called as Rtl integration engineer. And this person will be called as what? Just add engineer in the end, it will become, right? Functional verification engineer. Why are we understanding all this is to give you a brief about what is front end domain. I don't want to start off with saying Verilog, system Verilog and UVM or something else. I want to give you a bigger picture so that it will help you to make a right decision. So in the front end domain, all these aspects will be there. Other than that, if you get some basic idea about backend domain, you will figure out that backend domain also has various aspects. Like, see, there is one domain called as DFT, designed for testability. It is designed for testability. It is called as, this person is called as Dft engineer. This falls into both front end domain and backend. The term DFT is there in front end also, backend also. Even backend engineer also does the DFT. I mean, backend engineer means this work happens in both front end aspect also as backend aspect. When it comes to backend domain, there are domains like physical design. Of course, before that we do synthesis, static timing analysis, IR drop analysis. Then we have custom layout. Then we have physical verification. Then we have post silicon validation. For everything, just add the engineer in the end, you will get the role. Synthesis engineer, physical design engineer, STA engineer, IR drop analysis engineer, different things. Okay. Majorly, front end domain is a programming oriented job role. The back end domain, very less programming, minimal programming. I will rather call it as what? Minimum programming. Please. More of tool and technology based. Means you will have to use a lot of tool and technology concepts in the backend domain. So majorly VLSI design is divided into two aspects. One is called as front end domain, one is called as back end domain. Okay, most of you are attending this demo session because you want to get into front end domain, right? So that is the reason I will be focusing more into it. In case you want more details about back end domain, you can join the demo session tomorrow. So I don't want to get deep into it because I don't want to deviate from our original topic. Okay. Now, why we are talking about all this is to make sure that you get an understanding of what is RTL design, what is RTL integration, what is functional verification. Today's demo session, as I said, will be focused on front-end domain. That means we will be doing the demo session for RTL Engineer. We'll be doing the demo session for integration as well as for functional verification. Now, what is term RTL means? Let's understand quickly. Imagine mobile phone you are using. You're using the mobile phone. So right now it is in the hardware format, right? We can call it as a hardware. Mobile phone is a hardware. This before it became hardware, before it became a mobile phone, it was actually implemented as a Verilog code. The functionality of mobile phone was implemented as a Verilog code. Even before that, basically the mobile phone would have started with the concept of requirements. What do you need from the mobile phone? It would start with what? Requirements. Then it goes through various stages like architecture. I mean, they come up with the architecture for the mobile phone. They will say, this is how mobile phone will look like. This is where the processor subsystem will be. This will be the display subsystem. This will be multimedia subsystem. And this will be USB subsystem, PCIe. Like that, everything integrated together is what makes the mobile phone chip. The chip which you see in the mobile phone consists of various subcomponents. Even if I teach you what is multimedia subsystem and all that, for today's session, you won't be able to understand because you are just beginning with the learning of VLSI. Just I'm giving you a flow. Okay. What is meant by design architecture is coming up with this architecture diagram, how they are connected to each other, what should be the width of this, each of this, how this interconnect should be there. That concept is what is called as design architecture. Then we have something called as RTL design. What is RTL stands for is, can someone tell me what does RTL stands for? Anyone can answer this? What does RTL stand for?
Register transistor logic.
Register transfer level. It is a style of Verilog coding. It is one style of Verilog coding. Now, what exactly is register transfer level? Everything will discuss that as we go forward. See, then what happens is this mobile phone is implemented as a Verilog code. Now, what is the syntax of Verilog code? All that we'll discuss further when we go to that aspect is called as RTL designing. That means what happens? The person who is developing this Verilog code, he implements this block using Verilog. He will code Verilog. This block using Verilog. This block also using Verilog. Everything using Verilog, it will be implemented. That activity is called as RTL designing. Once it is done, all of them need to be integrated. Integrated means what? Everything need to be connected to each other. That activity is called as RTL integration. What is meant by integration? Like someone has developed this block, someone else has developed this block, someone else has developed this block. Putting together everything, what we get is, what we are doing is called as RTL integration. Once integration is done, once you have this block, we can't directly manufacture this block. We need to confirm whether this is working properly or not. Is this, whatever we have developed, is it working properly or not? That process is called as functional verification. So process of verifying the Verilog code, also called as what? RTL design, is called as functional verification. Basically, in functional verification, we are checking whether the code is working as per the design requirements or not. Lot of terms I'm using: RTL coding, I'm using RTL integration, I'm using specification, many terms. I don't expect you to understand any of those things because it is a first class for you. Probably you are just freshly out of college and you would not know many of those things. I'm just trying to give you a bigger level picture. I'm trying to give you a bigger level picture. I'm not trying to make it difficult for you. I'm just giving you a bigger level picture. When we start with the course, everything starts from the fundamentals, as much fundamentals as what is AND gate, what is OR gate, what is multiplexer. At that level only we'll start. Okay. So what is functional verification? So process of verifying the Verilog code is called as functional verification. Once functional verification is done, the DFT comes into picture. DFT stands for what? Design for testability. It is done for detecting the manufacturing defects. Done for detecting the manufacturing defects. If there are any manufacturing defects in the chip will be very small in size. See how much small in size? 1 square centimeter, let's say. In that, 100 crore transistors will be there. Inside a small chip, 100 crore transistors will be there. Even if there is one small fault there, see I put one dot there. Some fault is there for some reason. It is difficult to identify. Seeing the chip, you can't tell whether it is good or not. You can't tell. So we need to use some techniques. The techniques are called as design for testability techniques. Basically, these are the DFT is a set of techniques that help identify the defects inside the chip. What is simple example I'll tell you. We have manufactured a laptop. There is something broken, one piece of the laptop. If I see the laptop, can I see that fault? If it is somewhere in the car outside, if it is broken, we can see. And I can tell that this laptop is not good because it is damaged. I can see because it is visible, it is big in size. But what about the defects inside the chip? Defects inside the chip will be very small. How small it will be is nanometer level, 10 nanometer level. At that level, the defects will be there. So identifying those things with naked eye is not possible. Okay, because our visibility will be only till probably we can see up to millimeters or maybe less than that. 0.1 millimeter we can see. Beyond that we can't resolve. We don't have so much resolution, right? So that is where the DFT will come into the picture. Now, if you ask me, is DFT like a some kind of glass which will help me see? No, it is a techniques where if you apply some inputs to the chip, the outputs will come. That outputs will tell us whether the chip is working properly or not. If the outputs come properly, chip is working good. If output doesn't come properly, chip is not good. So this is about a little bit about DFT. Once it is done, so till now what we have done is we have a Verilog code. At this stage we have a Verilog code which is functionally working fine. Functionally there is no issues in that. Now we want to sell the mobile phone. If a customer comes, can I give him Verilog code and ask him to use as a mobile phone? I have Verilog code which is 10,000 lines. Can I give him that code and tell go and use it as mobile phone? No, right? He don't know what is Verilog code also, right? Even only 3 of us know. Outside people don't know what is Verilog code. So that is where it has to be taken through the manufacturing process. That Verilog code finally needs to be converted to into a chip. This process is called as VLSI backend domain. So now let us quickly summarize what is front end domain, what is back end domain. Reason we are doing that is Many times when you are looking for training, when you are looking about VLSI, you come across the two terms. What is? You come across one term called as front-end domain, another term called as back-end domain. Okay, front-end domain is about implementing the whole coding. I mean, you have a design requirements, implement that behavior and making sure that that code is working fine is called as front-end domain. Back-end domain is about what? Once you have that code which is working, that need to be converted into a chip and make sure that chip is working fine. That is called as back-end domain. If you see, this activity is very similar to a software engineer job role. Even software engineer does the same thing. Software engineer also has an architecture. He takes that there is a software developer will be there. This is the role of a software developer. Even software developer implements it. Then we have software testing engineer. You might have heard the term testing engineer. He does the same role of a functional verification. Then where does the software and hardware differ? The software won't have any of these processes. The software will not have any of the processes. In software engineer, if you tell him what is synthesis, he won't even know what is synthesis. He won't know what is physical design. It is because in software, only code is finally getting used. If someone comes to you and asks me, let's say I am a software engineer, they want me to develop some software application for a billing. Let's say they have some business and they want me to develop some software for their business. I won't sell them a hardware. I will sell them a piece of code which will be installed in their systems and they will use it. So am I selling a hardware or am I selling a software to them? I'm selling software, piece of code to them. So because of that, this process won't be there in the software. This process will not be there in software. Only these aspects are involved in software. Now you may say, then both of them are same. Is software engineer and the VLS engineer same? No, they are not same, but they are similar. Reason is, in software, they use C program. For advanced level, they use C++. For even more advanced, what they use? Java. In VLSI also, we have something called as Verilog, System Verilog, UVM. If you know any of these programming languages on the left hand side, C, C++, for you learning this will be very easy. Anytime during your graduation or after graduation, if you have done either C or C++ programming, learning Verilog and System Verilog is very easy, because even System Verilog is an object-oriented programming. Okay. Now, someone has asked a question: what is Verilog? What is Verilog? Verilog is a hardware description language. What do we mean by hardware description language? Basically, you need to understand the term that it is a language like English, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, different languages, right? So Verilog is also one such language. Only thing is we can't use it for day-to-day conversion. Like I'm saying, where are you going? Okay, I can't ask the same question using Verilog, right? In our native languages we can ask, because Verilog is meant for a different purpose. Verilog is not meant for the individual communications. Like I want to talk to your phone, I can't talk to you in Verilog language. Verilog is meant for hardware description purpose. What is mean by hardware? hardware description, let us understand. I have a counter. Are you all familiar with some? Okay. We have a counter. Okay. Let's say if I take 3-bit counter, it goes from 0, 1, 2 up to 7. Then again it comes back to 0, 1, so on. What is Verilog does is, if I have to tell this in English, this behavior in English, how will I tell? Every job count should increment edge clock by, if reset is applied 0, count should become, else count by 1. This is how I'll tell in English. What is this? Is technically called as an orth. This is what people call as will be. At every point becomes 0, else count should be. Same thing if I have to tell in Verilog. How do I tell that is? Always at the rate of positive edge of the clock. Begin end. If reset is equal to 1, I mean reset is applied, count equal to 0. Else if reset is not applied, count is made count plus. Understood? This is in English language. We can write it in Hindi also, right? We can write in any of our native languages also. So Verilog is different from those languages. Now why Verilog specially is, there is something called as synthesis. I told you in one of the stages, I told you something called as synthesis. What synthesis does is, it's a very powerful concept. What synthesis does is, it takes this Verilog code, whatever I have coded, it will take that code. Let's say this is the synthesis engine tool. It is a synthesis tool. It will take the code on the left hand side. It will give you the same code behavior using gates. When I say gates, what do I mean by gates? AND gate, OR gate, NAND gate. In that format, it will give you the behavior. It will take this code as input, and output will come in what format? It will come in the gates format. Now that gates can be converted into transistors. You know, right? You might have a basic idea. NOT gate can be converted as 1 PMOS and 1 NMOS. NAND gate is 2 NMOS and 2 PMOS. That idea you should have. Finally, what happens? The transistors can be manufactured as a chip. This can be manufactured as a chip. So finally, what happened? Whatever design I have implemented using Verilog language. You see, the language looks very similar to English. What you are telling? Always, whenever positive edge of clock happens, if reset is 1, make count equal to 0, else count equal to count plus 1. Now you give this as a input to the tool. This tool is what? Synthesis tool. What is meant by synthesis? It takes this kind of code and gives you the gates format. It will tell you what all gates will be required to get the same behavior. Finally, that can be converted into transistors. Now transistors can be manufactured into the silicon. So I will get a chip which is working. You may say, why this one? Why don't we directly do gates? It will be a very tedious process. If you this directly coming up, hence we use Verilog language. Verilog helps us describe the hardware behavior. Verilog helps with what? Describe the hardware behavior. Verilog helps us describe the hardware behavior at higher level. What is meant by higher level is called as, this is called as higher level. You are able to tell whenever positive is equal to 1, count 0. Now the same thing will require a lot of effort if you have to do with gates. I'll give you a rough example. You have to come up with 3 flip-flops, some AND gate, some OR gate, one this connection, this connection, this connection, everything going as input, and then there is one more XOR gate. If I directly implement this up counter flip-flop, these gates, flip-flop and gate, the circuit will be very complex. This is called as low level description. The diagram I have drawn is called as what? Low description. A simple example I'll tell you there. Of this room is around 18 feet in width. Okay, having, that is a high level description. 4 feet 5 inches. There is a description. So in a high level, what happens? This is what happens. Finally, there is a very concept called as what? But whatever high as what? Level description. Low level description. Finally, we are interested in low level description only. Finally, my goal is what? Low level description only, because I can only manufacture the low level description only. See, I can't manufacture always. I can't manufacture passage. But can I manufacture AND gate? I can manufacture AND gate. I can manufacture a flip-flop. This code cannot be manufactured. But then you may ask, if that is not manufactured, why are you writing this? Can someone answer? If you can't manufacture this, why are we writing this? Because I want to make coding easier. So imagine developing a code like this, AND gate, OR gate like that. It is very difficult. Whereas if you develop something in always block, it is very straightforward. Do you see? Doesn't it look straightforward? I mean, right now you're new to all these keywords. What is always, what is passage, what is CLK, what is RST, you don't know. But once you get used to it, you will find that it's very easy actually. Okay. Now someone is asking a question. Why can't we use VHDL for RTL design? Let's take down that question. We can use, okay, I didn't say that we can't use, okay. There are 2 languages like Verilog and VHDL. Any of these languages can be used. Now what happens is, as an industry standard, most of the companies, 90% of the companies have moved to Verilog only. That means how many companies are using VHDL? Only 5 to 10% are only using VHDL. So that is the reason we didn't talk about VHDL, but both the languages can be used for RTL design. Okay. Now summary. Do you understand what is meant by Verilog? Do you understand what is basics of Verilog? Why Verilog is required? Next, what is meant by high level description? Do you understand the term high level description? This is called as high level description. At high level you tell always, if this happens, do this, else do this. Do you understand what is meant by low level description? What is low level description? Description at the gates behavior, at gate level. It is difficult to understand, difficult to come up with that logic also. But this is important. Low level description is important because that is what is actually getting manufactured. I told you, right, when someone comes and purchases mobile phone, he is not purchasing this Verilog code from you. You can't tell him take always block and use it as mobile phone. No, right? You can't do it. You need to sell a piece of hardware to him. That piece of hardware comes from a low level description. But then why we are starting with high level description? It is easy to code. Easy to code, easy to understand and all that. Now, do you understand what is meant by RTL design? RTL design means this process of this coding is called as RTL design. Given a mobile phone or any chip, it can always be implemented like this. Always, if condition, case condition, while loop, different things are there. Using that, you can code any kind of design in the world. That is called as RTL design. Do you understand what is meant by RTL integration? What is RTL integration? Simple. Someone has given you one block. Like this is processor block. Someone has given you USB block. Someone has given you GPU block. See, in mobile phone, GPU will be there, graphics processing unit. Someone has given you display unit. Putting together everything and connecting all things into one unit is called as RTL integration. This is also a Verilog code. This is also a Verilog code. This is also a Verilog code. This is called as RTL integration. In plain terminology, you purchase a desktop. Right now, everyone purchases laptop. You don't come across a term called as desktop also now. 15 years back, people used to purchase only majorly desktops only, because at that time laptops used to be very costly, 1 lakh kind of range. And even now affordability has gone up now. Okay. At that time, what people used to do is people would purchase CD-ROM, floppy drive, motherboard, RAM, everything separately, and they used to assemble it. Assembly means what? Connecting, inserting everything into the motherboard slot, and then everything gets connected. That was called as assembly. The similar work is what we are calling as integration. Only difference is in assembly we use hardware and then assemble. Here we are assembling Verilog code. We are connecting one Verilog code with the other Verilog code. That is called as what? RTL integration. Then what is functional verification means? Do you understand what is functional verification now? What is functional verification means? By mistake, what happened is during this coding, they have coded 0. Someone while coding, someone has kept reset equal to what? 0 while coding. Now, if this gets converted into gates, that logic will be wrong. Because of this reset equal to 0, logic will come wrong. My gates, everything will become wrong actually. It goes into the final mobile phone, final product. What will happen? Will my mobile phone work? It won't work. Why? What is the reason why it's not working? What is all this reason why it's not working? Because on line number 51, there is a mistake that is being done. If I go through that code like that, I can't figure out that there is a mistake actually. Just by going through that code, I won't be able to figure out that there is such mistake. That is where we do something called as functional verification to catch that kind of issues. The role of functional verification engineer is to catch this. So you understood what is functional verification. Now, how many lines of code is here? 4 lines. Typically, the codes can be very bigger. The mobile phone Verilog code can be up to 2 lakh lines, 5 lakh lines. How many lakhs of lines of code? 5 lakh lines. 4 lines I can detect easily, but 5 lakh lines of code, you imagine what will be the size of the code, right? You can imagine also, visualize also. In that code, it won't be so straightforward. That is where functional verification is also important. Even if in that 5 lakh lines, 1 line is also wrong. What? 1 line is also wrong, the phone won't work properly. Understood, right? So what will happen is that 5 lakh lines, once it converts into how 5 lakh lines will look like? Something it will look like this. I mean, you don't think that same 4 lines will repeat? Some sort of this code will be there. This 5 lakh lines, 1 line is mistake is there. what will happen is when I do the synthesis, in every case I will do what? Synthesis. What synthesis will do? It will convert it into gates, AND gate, OR gate, flip-flop, everything will come. This how circuit will come. Somewhere some fault will be there, because somewhere you have done a mistake. Is everyone facing issue with my audio?
No.
Sometimes it was breaking your voice.
Okay. So somewhere there is an issue in the design. What will happen? It finally becomes a bug in the chip that gets manufactured as a chip that comes into my final product. It can be laptop, it can be this device what I'm using, or anything. Then the device won't work. I can't sell a laptop saying that okay, everything is working, keyboard feature A is not working. Let's say in keyboard A is not working. Will you purchase? No, right? I will tell everything is working, but USB is not working. Will you purchase? No, right? Same way, right? Everything is working, display won't come. Will you purchase? No, right? Even if there is a one small defect, that product cannot be sold. That is all comes down to this level. Verifying that these 5 lakhs lines of code is proper. We should verify that all these 5 lakh lines of code is proper. So you cannot verify this by just going through the code. This line is good, this line is good, this line is good. You can't do that. There is a systematic approach we have to follow. That approach is called as functional verification flow. Our course, major, I think most of you who are attending here for functional verification course will focus on those aspects. Once we know that this code is working fine, once functional verification is done, what is guarantee? Code don't have any issues. These kind of issues are not there where something is written 0. You may be thinking, is it the only type of issues? No, there can be many types of issues. For example, this is proper, someone by mistake has done minus. What it will become? Instead of up counter, it will become down counter. It will become. So traffic light, instead of going from 0, 1, 2, 3, it will go in the reverse direction. That is what will happen when it becomes down counter. The role of a functional verification engineer is to catch these bugs. So once he says that I am a functional verification engineer, I say that things are good. Now the things will wait, I got it, the mistake. Sorry. And now is it good for everyone, my audio? Now the audio is good, because I just realized that Wi-Fi is in some. I am connected to a Wi-Fi in other room. Now I am connected to the Wi-Fi.
We can hear.
Okay, sure. So I gave you the significance of. Let's say I am a functional verification engineer. I will say that verification is completed. That means what? I am giving a go ahead that these 5 lakh lines of code is good. There is no coding issues in that. Now comes the role of converting this code into physical piece. Physically, it has to become a chip. That process is called as what? Tell me, can someone tell me what is that whole process is called as?
At least
VLSI
synthesis.
Collectively, it has many steps. What are the steps? Synthesis, physical design, static timing analysis, IR drop analysis, custom layout, physical verification, post silicon validation. So there are various steps are there in this process. There are various steps are there, synthesis, all these things. These are collectively called as what? VLSI backend domain. Now, since most of you are here for a front end domain, I don't want to deviate into what is backend domain. because again sitting and teaching you what is physical design and STA, it probably won't help the today's session. Now, did you understood what is functional verification is about? Did you understood what is meant by functional verification, right? Now, what else did we discuss about? Okay. So any questions so far? Okay. So now let's talk about the demo session. Today's demo session is completely focused on these topics only. Okay, I'm going to give you a brief about what is what. Okay. Every front-end engineer requires some common skill set. Irrespective of who you are, you can be a RTL design engineer, you can be a RTL verification engineer, or you can be a functional verification engineer. The minimum skill set is understanding of a very good understanding of digital design. Should be very good with digital design, very good with Verilog, understanding of ASIC flow. This is the common skill set. Other than that, some miscellaneous skill set will be there. They should be good with some text editors like GVim or Notepad++. Other than that, Linux should be good with Linux, because all the projects when you get into the job happens in the Linux operating system. Like right now, what is the operating system I'm using? Right now I'm using Windows, right, to teach. But when you get into the job, the work you do will be in Linux operating. Other than that, you'll have to learn either Perl or Python scripting languages. These things you'll have to do. So for every front-end engineer, irrespective of whether you are from RTL design, whether you are from RTL integration or from functional verification, even a Dft engineer to some extent will require all these common skills. Then the difference will come. After this, the difference will come. Someone who is getting into functional verification domain will need to learn a different skill set that is called as system Verilog, UVM. Okay. Other than that, protocols and complete functional verification flow. Someone who is getting into RTL design domain, RTL design, should get a good understanding of how to understand design architecture. A very good understanding of design architecture, then very good with Verilog. Means how to, basically their role is what? To implement this Verilog code, right? This what did I say? The person who developed this code is called as what? RTL design engineer. The person who developed this code is called as RTL design engineer. The person who verified this code is called as what? Functional verification engineer. Again, I'm repeating. The person who has developed this code, 4 lines, is called as what? RTL design engineer. The person who verifies this is called as what? Functional verification engineer. So the RTL design engineer should be good with what? Developing all this code. So very good expertise of Verilog coding should be there. RTL integration engineer should be there. It has a different skill set called as linting, CDC. It is called as clock domain processing, UPF, synthesis, STA, logic equivalence checks, then something called as RTL core integration, RTL integration activity, integration tools. They should become good with these activities. Okay. Now, you understood that What is the summary? Again, let's summarize. Front-end domain has how many sub-aspects? 4 sub-aspects. What are the 4 sub-aspects? Design architecture, RTL design, RTL integration, functional verification. DFT I am not counting because DFT is something that falls into both the domains. So I am not counting exactly. Now, you may say, why didn't you talk about RTL design architecture? Generally, design architecture is done by 20+ years of experience. Generally. Person with at least 15+ years of experience. That means as a fresher, you should not even think about architect. So that is ruled out for you. Design engineer is generally 2+ years of experience. RTL integration is again 2+ years of experience. Verification engineer is 0+. Tell me which role is open for, if you want to get into front-end domain, which is the domain you should be looking at? That is why you see that.
Functional verification engineer.
Right? That is why you see that.
0+ experience.
There are training institutes. 95% of the training institutes will only teach what? Functional verification is, because functional verification is one domain where companies even consider the freshers for that. Then if you want in the future, you want to get into design, you can get in. If you want to get into integration, you can get in. But this is how it works. Okay. Now, does it mean that functional verification is a low category work? No, it's a very good work. It comes with a very good growth opportunities. No, now voice should not be breaking. My voice should be clear now. I'm in a place where everyone is facing issue with my audio.
Your
No.
voice is clear.
Your
Okay.
voice is clear.
Yeah, so Dharanish, please log off and please connect again. Okay. If everyone is facing the issue, then I can say it's an issue from my end. Okay, you can log off and connect again. So we were discussing about functional verification. So in front-end domain, how many sub roles are there? 4 sub roles. What is the first role? Design architect. Who is the second person? RTL design engineer. Third person is RTL integration engineer. Fourth person is functional verification engineer. What is the role of a functional verification engineer? RTL designer develops the Verilog code, a big Verilog codes. If the design is complex, big mobile phone will have roughly 5 lakh lines of code. What do you say? Video game application, video game hardware may have only 2000 lines of code, because video game is very simple. It may require only 2000 lines of code. As the complexity of the code increases, the complexity of verification also increases. Now, I told you that mostly if you, as a fresher, if you are looking to get into the industry, this is what you should be looking at. Like people come and ask me, I want to get into RTL coding. Fresher. I tell them that it is difficult because companies don't hire generally. Even if you undergo training, it takes some effort for you to convince to that company that I have enough exposure that I can work as RTL engineer. Then they will hire you. Rather, verification engineer, you don't need to do anything. You just say that I have done Verilog, system Verilog, UVM very well, and I am good with that. The companies will hire you. Now, I hope I've given you the basic idea. Okay. So, irrespective of what domain you are in, this is the common skill set. So, for that purpose, what we do is all our training typically goes for, all courses are roughly 6 months or 6.5 months. Sometimes we extend it to 6.5 months. One of the courses is 6.5 months course actually. So our functional verification course is 6.5 months. RTL design and integration courses 6 months course. If someone is from a DFT domain, for DFT also it's a 6 months course. Those who are interested in DFT training and have joined today's demo session, we will be having a dedicated DFT demo session afterwards. It will be at 3 p.m. today. Okay, even whatever I'm teaching should be helpful for you to understand. Even though you're looking for DFT, it should be basically giving you a basic idea about what is front end, what is back end, right? So the dedicated DFT demo session will be at 3 p.m. today. Okay. I have told you what is covered in functional verification. What is covered in functional verification? All these topics will be covered. Along with that, all this will be covered. So functional verification means what? Basics plus advanced portion. So whatever I'm showing here is what will be covered as part of the functional verification course. What is covered for RTL Integration Engineer? Basics plus these topics. Mostly this course is taken by working professionals. Someone who is already working, they take this course. You may say, why do they need to take? They're already working. So we were discussing about what is the things you need to learn. I was telling you, someone is already working in industry. Why does he need to learn again RTL integration from a training institute? What generally happens is not only in RTL integration, even if you go to functional verification, many times even experienced people join our courses. Because what happens as a RTL integration, when they join a company, they're only given linting work. They're only given CDC work. They're only working on UPF work. When they want to grow in their career, they have to learn everything properly. Only then they have many options. If you only learn one thing, your options are only limited to that topic only. So then they come to the institute and learn these things. Okay, that is one place where VLSIGuru institutes differs from other places. We also offer courses for freshers. Okay, the VLSIGuru offers courses for freshers and even for experienced engineers also. We have almost close to 15 unique courses. When I say unique, probably not many institutes are offering such courses, which differentiates our institute. And of course, we have a lot of courses for freshers. So we offer courses in all this domain, whatever I said, whatever I mentioned here. We offer course in Rtl Design. We do offer course in Rtl Integration. We do offer course in functional verification, the DFT. Every domain you see here, we offer a course. Every domain, including the IR drop analysis, everything, whatever you see here. Next, about the courses, generally the courses will be for any course you take, it would go for 6 months. Only exception is functional verification training, which goes for 6.5 months, which is roughly 28 weeks course. So let us talk about functional verification course, because most of you will be interested in functional verification domain. I will also talk about other domains as based on your request. This 28 weeks is divided into 3 parts. First part will be digital design and Verilog. First part will be what? Digital design and Verilog. The second part will be, here we teach GVIM actually. GVIM, digital design and Verilog. The second part will be system Verilog and Linux operating system and Python scripting. Third part will be UVM and ASIC flow and SOC concepts. This is all the summary. I think it summarizes everything. If you see whatever. You may be thinking you didn't talk about protocols, you didn't talk about complete verification flow. They will be done here. Multiple projects. Multiple projects. In each of these stages, we'll be working on multiple projects. Even when we do phase 1, this will be for around 10 weeks. This will be for around 13 weeks. This will be for around 5 weeks. So totally adding up to 28 weeks. Sometimes it extends to 30 weeks also. Sometimes it extends to 30 weeks also. Generally, I don't keep a target that I have to complete. My perspective is, if there are 30 students in a batch, how to make all 30 best, good. What is meant by good? I can't, someone has scored 50% in BTech. I can't make him expert. What we can do is, we can make a smart guy super smart. Our training will make average guy a smart guy. We will take you to next level. We can't take a poor guy to super smart guy, because what you didn't learn for 22 years or 21 years, it won't happen in 6 months. I'm telling you the reality, right? What didn't happen for 21 years, whatever foundation you couldn't develop for 21 years, it won't happen in 6 months. But I can take you to one level above. If you are smart, once you join the institute, you will become super smart. The level of teaching, level of course you do, you will become super smart. If you are average, you will definitely become a smart person. Now, what is smart? What is average definition? It is relative to everyone, right? Okay, I have my own relative definition. So as per that, you will convert. Okay. My goal will be to make sure that all students, it could be 30 students or 40 or 20, they should get an individual attention and they should all become good. Sometimes what we do is, not only sometimes, at every stage, we conduct assessment tests. Here there will be 2 assessment tests. Here also there will be assessment test, will be there, 2 assessment tests. Here also assessment test will be there, 1 assessment test. Based on your performance in the assessment test only, you are promoted to the next level. See what happens generally, if there are 30 students, all students don't come with the same level of understanding, right? They don't come with the same level of motivation, same level of subject maturity, different levels are there. In that case, what happens is, some students are able to catch up everything. Whatever I'm teaching, they catch up, or even as they are ahead of me, they learn. Then there are people who requires a lot of special attention, and we can't slow down too much. We can't go very fast. Then what happens is, at times, based on this assessment, we make this person repeat the course. In case you are not able to catch up for any reason, right? Because you didn't have a, let's say your BTech did not happen properly, you didn't learn anything. Let's say you don't know what is AND gate and you are not able to cope up with it. So we make sure that you are given an opportunity. Sorry, Dharnish, you have any question? So we make sure that we give that opportunity for the person to repeat, and actually we make it compulsory for everyone to do it. Okay. Next. That is what drives our philosophy. Now what it does is, it has been, at least in my knowledge, it is resulting in us getting close to 90% placement, at least in last 1.5 years, and it is helping us. Companies recognize our training immediately. Okay, that's about it. Okay, and so now let's start with the question and answers. how the training will be planned. Training will go for 28 weeks, the longest course, 6 days per week, 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It can differ to some extent, but this is the time. 1 day theory session, the next day lab session. Generally, batch sizes are small. The batch size will typically be around 30. Sometimes what happens, one of the company we are working with, I mean, the industry recognizes us. Right now, what happens is in a day, in any given day, I personally teach, I am connected with 7 companies employees. 7 companies employees I teach in a day. That means what they do is, you might be aware, some of you are attending the demo session, might be aware that we also offer a company sponsored internship program. As part of that, company sponsors the training cost. They identify some good candidates themselves, or we help them identify. They hire, they give those candidates to us for this 28 weeks. Okay. Just to show you one of this example, you see one person has joined by company name Blueberry Semiconductor in the list. So even in this case, the company might have hired this person. They are sending us to us for 6.5 months of full-fledged training. Not only here, there are, I'm telling you, when I say I'm training seven company people, we do teach. Like right now, I'm teaching Happiest Minds. I'm teaching people from Perfect VIPs. I'm teaching people from Juntron. Like that, totally 7-8 companies I teach in the same day. Now, how I manage that timing is a different thing. It's personal to my thing, but we are making sure that companies recognize our training program. Okay, then we are teaching USD global employees. I mean, they are also joining our program, not into verification, they are into physical design, different domains. So the companies recognize our training program and all that. So what they do is they hire the people instead of training internally. See, training someone internally is not so easy because it requires dedicated resource to take them through. They give them for training. That is where I have a very big batch from one of the companies. So there the batch is big size. Otherwise, generally the batch size tends to be 30. We have, our course is very matured in sense, we make sure that you get a proper theoretical attention, proper lab session, everything. There will be alternate days of theory sessions and lab session. Theory session is where the trainer teaches everything. I will be teaching everything. Lab session is where student does everything with trainer guidance. Means you are doing, trainer will be there to make sure that whatever support you require, you get that support. They will tell you these are the assignments, this is the questions. You will be doing that. The tool will be given to you, the required software. You will be working on it, and the trainer will give you the guidance on wherever you are stuck. They will help you. It is to make sure that you learn the things. This is where you really learn the things. So we always plan in such manner. Sometimes even the lab sessions can be even more. Let's say I teach a lot of things today. One day may not be sufficient for you. So that time, 2 days of lab sessions 2 days will be for lab session. That will ensure that you will get the required attention. Next, what else we were talking about? The schedule. So this 28 weeks, as I said, is divided into 10 weeks, 13 weeks plus 5 weeks. At times, it is possible that it may even stretch to 30 weeks. But even though it stretches to 30 weeks, which is almost 7 months, you may say many institutes are offering what, probably 5 months, 6 months, and they're all there. Why 7 months? Why can't it be finished in 6 months? Personally, based on my experience, our content depth is a lot more. If I take one example of Verilog training, I'll just take an example of Verilog training. Verilog training itself, I divide it into two parts. In-depth language training, then Verilog projects training. Most of the institutes, whatever I know, you name any institute, most of the institute will focus only on this part, in-depth language training. Where we differ is, this is where our course will differ. This is where you learn things like pattern detector, FIFO, synchronous FIFO, asynchronous FIFO, memory design and test bench, SPI controller, parallel in serial out, CRC generation. Sometimes we introduce the students to I2C also. And this is what is going to give you the advantage to you. When you go to interview, let's say 10 people come to the interview. I want to hire someone. Almost everyone knows language. Everyone knows language, Verilog language, everyone would be aware with varying levels of understanding. Someone may be very good with Verilog language, someone may be average with Verilog language. So the person who is interviewing can see a more differentiation by seeing the additional projects that you have. That brings maximum difference to your resume actually. If even let's say many times I have a scenarios where few students have joined, one student from Lovely Professional University. He came in third year last semester to us. That was in 2020 January he came. 2020 January he was in third year second semester. Name I forgot. He came out of his 60-70 people batch. But after the time he has done Verilog training, he is the only person who got selected into Marvel Semiconductor Center. Marvel or Infineon, one of those companies. He's the only person who got selected into the internship program. That was purely based on this project. That he was able to differentiate his resume with other 59 people in his batch, and he got that little advantage. And of course, even the training we done has helped him. Okay, so like that, we do have some examples. We do have multiple examples where these projects do help. Even when we go to system Verilog training, let's say when we go to system Verilog, let me again tell you, most of the institutes, the focus will be on system Verilog language. Where our course will differ is, we teach something called as AXI protocol in depth, then AXI VIP development. And other than that, we teach one industry standard project, either DMA controller verification or Ethernet MAC verification. Like that, another 3-4 projects are there. Here, the duration increases by 2 weeks. Here, the duration increases by around 5 weeks. Here, the duration increases by totally 3 weeks. And when it comes to UVM, we teach AHP protocol and AHP UVC development. One is asynchronous FIFO test bench setup using UVM. Now, where the duration is actually getting increased is these additional things we do. I hope you are getting an idea. What this additional things is doing for you is, it is making your resume stand out from the other people's resumes. And it gives you that exposure to a lot of things. See, after doing this course, you will know what is meant by SPI protocol, what is meant by I2C protocol, what is meant by AXI protocol, what is meant by AHP protocol, what is meant by Ethernet MAC. This is what makes a lot of difference to you. Instead of calling front-end domain, I say front-end. 2 parts. Okay, Verilog is 2 parts. Okay. So, any questions so far? Yes.
In this training, UVM also covered.
Sorry, please tell me.
In this training, UM also covered or not?
I said UVM training is also covered here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now let us
From
take. Yeah,
from when it is started time?
I will tell you. I'll tell you. Basically, the batch is starting from Monday onwards. Tomorrow will be a break. Monday onwards it will start. Monday will be 28th of March. It will start.
Yes.
The course will follow in the same manner. What you see here, 10 weeks for this thing, 13 weeks for this one, and 5 weeks for this one. Okay. Yeah, someone is asking fee structure. The fee for this overall course will be 45,000 plus GST. Let's go over the questions. Okay, so in summary, what I was trying to tell is we don't purposefully increase the duration. Okay, many times if you talk to 100 people who have completed training in the institute, you might even hear a feedback that this 28 weeks is also not sufficient. We do a lot of things. I will tell you what do mean by lot of things. I'll tell you. See, digital design itself done in quite depth. In your case, let's say you study digital design in your college. Digital design in your college is a 1 semester course. Though there are 5-6 subjects, but it's 1 semester course. In the institute, what happens is we teach almost, you learn only 30% of what is actually digital design. What you learn in your college is only 30% of it actually. We teach almost 100% of digital design, everything, pretty much everything of digital design in 3 weeks duration. Maximum 2 to 3 weeks. That is where people find it difficult to cope up with it. See, given 1 semester, it's easy to learn, right? Because you have something you learn every day, it's possible. Here, what happens in the institute is we don't run Verilog and digital parallelly. It's not like morning half an hour digital, evening Verilog, morning half an hour, like that it won't happen. If I start digital design, for next 3 weeks, only digital design will go. But you will become expert with digital design towards, given that you put the required effort. So in summary, this duration really requires that much time. If you ask me, can it be finished in 5 months? Unless the person is very smart, very difficult to finish. That is where we come up. Because even as an institute, I don't want to stretch it so long, right? When I would be more happy to finish it in 5 months, start a new batches. So more people, more batches can be done in a year. Frankly, my personal opinion always remains that I should make sure that if 100 people undergo training in the institute, they should go out with a better skill set, and they should fire. The company should recognize them for their additional skill set they have. So we are trying to make sure that we do something which gives you that additional exposure. And that is where you really get the difference. And when I said a lot of companies connect with us for training, I gave you some names, and even when I'm telling in a day I train almost 6-7 company people, it is all due to this differentiation. Not that other institute can't teach language, right? They can teach language, they can teach Verilog language. Somewhere in their flow, they are not able to do that. This part, the hands-on project part. That is where the companies feel that this is more important aspect. All these aspects. There you will find a lot of differentiation. Now let us go over some of the questions. You can now post your questions. So please keep posting the questions in the chat window. I'll answer this. Okay. For experience, can you please tell what is the course structure? For experienced engineer, the course difference between a fresher, what is the difference between fresher and experience? The experience already working in the industry. That means they will be good with digital and Verilog and basics of ASIC. So what it means is they don't have to go through this part of the course. And correct, right? Someone who is already experienced, they don't have to go through digital design, they don't have to go through Verilog, they don't have to go through GVim and Linux. So the experienced person only goes through this part. If someone is not, even as experienced, someone is not good with Perl, we cover that. Either Perl or one of those languages. So this is what constitutes the experience course. So experience course means what? System Verilog, UVM and scripting. So in summary, these all things, everything you see here. So what is the duration we are talking about? Around 13 weeks here. Actually, I said 13 weeks, but it invariably goes for 15 weeks. Again, the problem is I can't stop teaching something superficially. I mean, I believe that if I teach, the student should feel happy about what he has learned. If I teach superficial, I mean, what is the way? You open the code and just say this is the code and give the code. Somehow I believe in a style of teaching where we should make sure that student does everything. Okay. UVM training, I said goes for 5 weeks. Actually, it will go for 9 weeks in case of experienced person. What we teach to the freshers is only basic, essential part of UVM. What is actually required for a fresher? From an experienced engineer, it is a 9 weeks course. So totally, it will go for around 22 weeks or 24 weeks. So this course will be for 22 weeks to it can even go to 24 weeks course. Lot of experienced people do take our courses actually. Why they take that courses is, even I told you, right, when working they don't get to work on everything. Even an experienced person doesn't get to work on everything. If I say functional verification flow, right, it has got many things. Reading the specification, reading design specification, listing down features, scenarios, test plan development, test bench architecture development, functional coverage point list down, test bench component coding, then test case coding, test case debug, regression setup, regression analysis, report analysis, then coverage closure, functional coverage and code coverage, then verification closure. How many steps are there? Roughly 13 steps are there. Even as an experienced person, what happens is sometimes they do only this work. Let's say I'm a 3 years experienced person or 2 years experienced person. I don't get to work on all these aspects of one project. Sometimes I only do this work only, because that is the requirement of a team. I joined at a stage of a project where I won't get opportunity to do everything, or I may get only this. So people may get different nature of work. Many times what happens is they don't get to do everything. A fresher, even as an experienced person, they don't get to do everything. That is where people do our courses. Even I have people who has with the 10 years of experience, many people who have taken these courses. This flow is what you learn as part of this part of it. I told you one industry standard project, right? Somewhere I said that. Yeah, here. Which is part of system Verilog training. The person gets to do everything, starting from something called as reading a specification, listing down features and scenarios, test plan development, test bench architecture development, functional coverage point listing down, test bench component coding, test case coding, everything. That is where I said, I told you, right? It goes for 5 weeks. If you ask me why it is 5 weeks, unless you spend 5 weeks, I can't do this properly. I can't do these things properly unless I spend 5 weeks of time. That is where this much time is taken for this exercise. So I hope this question is clear to you. For the experience, can you please tell what is the course structure? This is how it is. Now, there are two things here. You might be a working professional. I mean, since you are a working professional, you can't attend during the weekdays. In that case, what happens is you can go for a blended mode of learning. It is only for working professionals. It is the live weekend training and access to all the recorded videos. This is 24/7 access for complete course duration, complete duration. And these sessions, live weekend training, will happen both Saturday and Sunday. Now, some people may ask, how can we cover everything in Saturday and Sunday? Okay, that is the very reason why we are going with recorded videos plus live weekend training. Okay. Now, this will be roughly 4 hours per day. Many times what happens, we had a scenario earlier, 3 years back, we used to have a scenario where we used to do weekend training from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then we realized that that is not efficient. See, you are attending my session for last 1 hour 20 minutes. Imagine attending my session for next 7 hours. Do you think it's possible to attend a session for 8 hours in a day? It won't be possible. Actually, you may be thinking, many of you may be thinking, let's take a break now, right? So hence we decided that let's not do full Saturday and full Sunday training. It won't be effective basically because you are already working for 5 days, Monday to Friday. And again, if I ask you to sit on Saturday and Sunday for 8 hours, it won't be possible at all. That is where we will be providing you with access to all the course recorded videos. In this case, my recorded videos, which you can access anytime at your convenience. And over the weekends, you interact with the trainer for revision, doubt clarification, and lab support. Whereas for a fresher who is not having any work, he is not working, for them it will be a 6 days training, 4 hours every day. Sunday will be break for them. So that means what? Experienced people training batch will be different, fresher batch will be different. So I hope it is clear to you. Next. I don't have that much communication skills. Can you teach me in regional language if I can't understand what you are telling? I can't teach, my sessions can't be in regional language, right? Because you know that it's not practically possible, right? I can teach in Telugu, my native language, but how many people will understand? Tell me. Only 10-20% of the batch will understand. So that way we have to always go with the one language. Even Hindi we can't teach. Hindi also I can teach, but lot of people from south won't be able to understand that level of Hindi, right? So that is where we will teach in English only. But if you don't understand, we can always connect you with one of our mentors who is from your regional thing. Let's say you are from Karnataka, we can connect you with a mentor from Karnataka, one of our trainer. He can do some sessions, whatever session. He can't redo everything. It's not possible, right? He can do some things which helps you understand. Let's say someone is from North India, they are not very good with English and they want someone to guide them in Hindi. We can have a trainer who has Hindi expertise and he can teach you in Hindi. That is possible. We can do few one-to-one sessions or small group sessions. In small group is what? For a group of 3-4 people in your language, in your regional native language. This is possible, but not the, please tell me. Next. Please provide the recording of, yeah, we will provide. This video will be provided to you. Video will be shared. Not only that, what as a policy, what we do is every session video, irrespective of whether you attend or you don't attend, video is provided for 1 week duration. You can revise it. Okay. Only catch is what? You should not misutilize. There is a trust with which it is shared. So that trust should not be misutilized. Anusha, I hope your question is, I have answered your question.
No, sir.
Yeah, please, you can type in your question, Manikanta.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, please post your question.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, please. Sorry. Yeah, sure. Reception room is this side. So let's start with some of these questions. I think let's do one thing. We'll take a short break and continue. We'll take a 10 minutes break. We'll meet by 11:20 a.m. Is that fine? Okay. So let us all meet by 11:20 a.m. Then we'll continue with this thing. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please list down those things, because I don't want to do a very long stretch session. Okay, so we will start the session now. So we were going through the questions. So let's resume with the questions. Okay. So let's take the next question. In the meantime, if you have any other questions, you can please post your questions. Is there any other time slot for the session? See, sometimes there are two time slots in the institute generally. One is 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Second is around 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. time slot, right? If you are looking for morning time slot, early morning or late evening, there is no time slot. Okay, because mostly the people who look for training are available in this time, and difficult to run batches outside this section. I think this we have posted. Will you provide course material? Yes, the complete set of course material will be provided. The presentations, the course assignments, the required documents, and the lab codes, and interview preparation material, and how to update the resume. All those aspects will be provided. Currently, we are providing in a soft copy format. There's a chance that in this month, we will provide in a hard copy format. Can we be able to watch recorded sessions to watch later? Because sometimes, okay. Yeah, I told you, right? 7 days access to every session video. Next. Switching from embedded to VLSI, could I get placed in VLSI? I think Sham, we had almost a 30 minutes discussion last time over phone. I think I've given you enough. Even if I tell the same statement 10 times, it's not going to change the statement, right? Let's say if I'm going to Bangalore, I'm saying I'm going to my native. If I tell 10 times, it won't change, right? I'll still go to my native only. Now again, repeating same 30 minutes won't help you. I told you other day why it is possible for you, how you can do. I told you that your domain is related to VLSI, your company is related to VLSI. You can do a course in VLSI and you can switch. If you think that me telling you the same thing 10 times, repeating 10 times gives you more assurance, I can do that. But my statement will remain same. Sham, is it clear to you? I'm sorry. I mean, I talk. At times I talk like this one. As a teacher, what happens sometimes I have to be bit soft also, bit talk in a way where people understand us. I mean, I can't change it. Okay.
Yeah, Srinivas.
The reason is we had talked the same discussion. You remember, Sham, we had a same discussion on the same topic.
Yeah, got it. But actually, my last
assurance,
point
I told
is
no one can give the assurance. There's always, see, unless I know what you are, unless how you put effort, there is no one can give assurance, right? There is a good chance, very good chance of you getting a place. That's what we had also discussed, and why I told you also, your company works into VLSI domain, and I told you you have to work you have to learn the training properly and update your resume with proper set of projects. You will be able to get into VLSI domain. Since you are going to project yourself as an experienced person, you can easily get into the domain. Yes, notes will be provided. So whatever I am writing, this kind of notes also is provided. I passed my BTech in 2019. What are the chances of getting placed? Good chance. There is a good chance. Currently, the placement opportunities are very good. Companies are not finding the candidates. Actually, if I was telling you some time back about company-sponsored training program, why this kind of program was not there 1-2 years back? Actually, only one company used to do, that is Veda IIT Institute used to do for Softtronics. You might have heard of this. Okay. This is what was there. Now why companies are coming to this model is, I mean, when I approach some companies and we are able to convince them they're adopting this model. What does it mean by company sponsored training program? They will sponsor the training cost, but you have to make sure that they will give you the job also, guarantee also, but you have to sign a bond for 3 years. So it is because they are not able to find the right candidates. Even today with us, we are training 150 plus people like in this model today, in this model only. It is because for me, more than external enrollments, this is bigger program. Okay, for a different reasons. Okay, one is due to the connect I have with some of the companies, all that is helping us. The point is, reason is not about my connects, reason is about they are not able to find the right candidates from the institutes. Wherever you go to hire one right candidates, it's taking a lot of effort for every company actually. That is where they are adopting this model. So what is that coming down to? To get a good candidate, they're okay to spend training cost also. They're okay to give you job guarantee also. You join, you don't have to spend any money starting from today. Sometimes companies are paying stipend also. Even during your training, they're paying fee. And after 6 months of training, they're giving you the job also. It is all because there are so many requirements. Companies are not able to find the right candidates. For experience and freshers, both same class. No, right? I said it's a different sessions will be the different class. Maybe because if someone is experienced, they can't attend during the regular weekdays. So hence they will have two different tracks. For the weekend training, what is the fee structure? See, someone looking for system Verilog training is 23,000. That is that I told, right? Around 3.5 months of training. And the UVM training, I think around 14K, which is around 2 months training. So if done together, there is, I think it comes to 36, 1K reduction will be there, done together. Next, does weekday session have other time slot? I told there are 2 time slots, which we have already discussed. I think I have already answered this question. What
Hello,
is the
sir.
highest? Yeah, yeah. Please
Yes.
tell me.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. This is Vaibhav.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah,
everyone. Yeah, myself Vaibhav. I am the manager of this institute. So you have attended this demo session. So what we provide is we share you the demo session so that you can go through the demo session again. So in that regards, I am pasting a Google form link. Please fill up that form so that after this session, we will share you the recordings. And during this entire 6 months of training, we provide the live access of, the recorded access of this session for 7 days, so that after the session, you can go and revise. So please fill up this form so that after the session and within 2 to 3 hours, we will send you the recorded video also.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Sir,
Anything else
from my end.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So what is the highest package are placing in this domain? See, the package, how it works is, depends upon 2 things. One is services company, one is product company. Services company is like, for example, HCL is a services company. Okay, let's say Tech Mahindra is a services company, which is into VLSI domain also. Okay. TCS, Wipro, Capgemini. These are all services companies. For them, generally the salary range will be even LTTS. They have been paying in the range of 3 lakhs per annum to 5 lakhs per annum. If you go to smaller companies, there are a few smaller companies also, which may be paying even 2.5 lakhs per annum or 15,000 per month initially to start with. Okay. In all these companies, what happens is, as soon as you join the company, you don't become productive. They have to internally train you a little bit. There they pay you less salary. Once you start becoming productive, once you start getting into the project, they will revise the salary. Product company is a different thing. Mostly there the salary itself starts with 6 lakhs per annum minimum, the lower side. Now, highest can be anywhere like 12 lakhs per annum or 15 per annum. I mean, they show different things on a higher side. But many times hiring happens in services company. Wherever you go, you have a 95% of chance of getting into services company, only 5% of getting into product company, because even when they hire this product company, they hire 1 or 2 people, like 2 or 3 people, and not every company hires. Okay, like for example, Synopsys, Cadence, AMD, Boeing, Intel doesn't hire from the institute, they hire from the colleges. I'm talking about the companies which hire from the institute. Micron hires, Microchip hires. Around 6, 7, 8 product companies are there. If you talk about services companies, there are almost 50 to 60 companies which hire in that domain. So you have a good chance of getting into services domain. Now then you may ask, will my salary be same throughout? No, it increases. Actually, that is where VLSI job is very different. VLSI salaries are, they grow exponential, they grow significantly. I hope it is clear. Next, someone is asking, what about Caliber tool? The Caliber tool is used for physical verification, not anywhere relevant to functional verification. So hence we don't teach Caliber tool. I'm just taking a look. Okay, let's again go over some of these questions. I am currently working as a fresher. Is there different sessions like night time or Sundays? I told, right, only timings are either you are a full week batch, which is either of the slots, either morning slot or noon slot. I mean, 2 p.m. slot, right? Or only weekends only batch. Like if you are only looking for Sundays also, that is possible. Again, if you are looking only for Sundays, you can go over the video course for whole week. Then weekends only training. This is quite possible. I mean, this training is also very effective. I'll give you one example also where it worked. I mean, recent example. You might be aware of one college called as, one university called as Charusat University. This is in Gujarat actually. Okay, so one person, it started with one person actually. It started with some person taking training in March 2021. He got job by, he is a PhD holder, PhD, and he was not satisfied with salary, whatever, right? Teaching these days, the college doesn't pay much, the engineering college. He took training, and by June end, he had multiple offers. Of course, being a working professional, he didn't go for full week training. He only went for video course. At times, we used to support him with weekends only training. Now, based on his recommendation, since he was able to move from his teaching job to other thing, 4 of his friends also took. Now, 2 of them only took Verilog. They were married women, so they didn't have time to prepare. They stopped at Verilog. The other person took again the full course. Now he got a job in one of the, I can tell the company name also. He got job in Wipro at 9 lakhs per annum. He doesn't have any relevant experience actually. He was teaching something, right? In college, they won't be teaching system Verilog UVM, right? In college, nobody teaches system Verilog. He would be teaching his regular subjects. He did this course, and I don't know when he took. Sometime after June only, definitely, right? Sometime after June, because only after he got job around September he might have taken, August or September. Now he got a job actually. Other 2 people didn't get job also. Difference was like the person, how they use the course, right? I'm not telling that you just purchase the course, you will get a course. You will get a job, not like that. He learned, he put right effort, and he got a job. The 10 days back, he got a job. Okay. So why I'm remembering this is, it's like I know that once one person gets through, it's mostly the word of mouth is where we get the people. So why am I explaining all this? It is to tell that even if you are working, if you are able to spend right amount of time, you can easily get into the industry. So these people who got through, they didn't have any relevant experience. They were working in different domain. They were teaching into different domain, different subjects. By learning these things, they were able to get through. What really might have helped them is these topics. These kind of things would have surely helped. These projects, what I said, right? That would have helped them surely. Because if Wipro, if it is giving 9 lakhs, they wouldn't just give like that, right? There is something, they would find them some relevant experience. That's where they wrote. So then this question should answer if someone is a faculty and who has joined this demo session, this is the best example of that. So there are few people who are able to get through, few people who are not able to get through also. The difference was not with my coach, difference was with their effort. If I take Rtl integration course, does it cover SG? Okay, see, it covers spyglass. Now I don't know how spyglass is used for DFT. I'm not sure, but spyglass for linting and CDC, it gets covered. Linting and CDC will get covered. DFT, I'm not sure. So that we need to check with the trainer. So when you do, I can check with the trainer and confirm you regarding this SG DFT, whether integration course covers from a DFT perspective. As of now, to my knowledge, it doesn't cover. It covers spyglass tool from a linting and CDC perspective. Next, what will be the process for online lab sessions? It will be a live lab session where how it happens, I can make any of you, let's say there are some participants here, I can make you any of you the presenter. I can click and I can make you the presenter. So what happens, whatever doubt you have, you can tell orally to the trainer and he will make you the presenter, and he can take control of your screen, or he can look at your screen and tell you what is mistake you are doing, whatever support you require, he can provide you that. This is how online lab session will happen. Now regarding the tool access, till one point of the time we will install the tool on your laptop itself. Some tools are student versions. Once it goes to the advanced level system Verilog UVM, we will give you the server access where you can practice the tools from the server. Next, if we want video access for digital design in Verilog in separate, can we provide to us? If you want, yes, it is possible. I mean, if someone only wants to enroll for only digital design in Verilog, it is possible. Next, and what is the fee for that? Fee is, see, digital is 2,500, 1,000 plus GST. Everything is with GST. Verilog is 10,000 plus GST. Now, this 2,500, mostly your thinking will be, I get everything in YouTube digital design. Why pay this much? That payment will have a value. I mean, it will be definitely much different from what you can learn out of YouTube. Right? Even when you say 10,000, I can go to NPTEL. There will be NPTEL. There I can learn Verilog. Or many resources where you can learn Verilog, right? But when you pay 10,000, you will get a value for 10,000. I mean, some things which you can't learn in NPTEL, some things which you can't learn in YouTube will learn here. Again, same question, Verilog is available in Udemy for 500 rupees also. But again, you will see a value which will be worth 10,000. We know what is where, what is there. We know what is our course is going to do the value addition for you. What were the applications we designed by using Verilog Spectrum or code? Verilog Spectrum I didn't get, but Verilog code, let's assume. You can design everything. Actually, if you ask what we are going to do, this is what we are going to do. I told you, right? In Verilog, what projects we do? We do pattern detector, synchronous and asynchronous FIFO, memory coding, SPI controller. Other than that, we do something called as interrupt controller, SPI controller, parallel in serial out, CRC, I2C. These all things we'll be doing using Verilog. So the answer for this question is what? I hope it answers your question. Next, when can we appear for placement drive after joining this course? What are the steps for placement of freshers and experienced candidates? You will get the placement support from 6th month of the training. Generally, for the companies, the expectation is that you should have completed Verilog, SV, and UVM. Okay, what we will do for you is, we will keep some of the projects towards the end of the course. I may do something like this where we will not do initial. This 5 weeks will push it to later. This push. We will move this here. I mean, the whole UVM will move here so that your training gets over in 3 plus 10 and another 5 weeks. By 18 weeks, sorry, not 3, right? Yeah, around 20 weeks, initial 20 weeks itself, you should have completed Verilog, System Verilog, and UVM. So once you are good with Verilog, System Verilog, UVM, even if you haven't done project, you can still get placed. This projects will give you that additional expertise. What projects will do is additional expertise. That means from the 6th month of training, after 5 months of training, you will be able to start looking for the jobs, and the institute will provide you the support. For experienced people, actually what happens, there is no support required. Even today, we get a mail from many companies. I can't tell you the company names. They tell me that if you provide me good experienced engineers who can clear the interview at 3 years experience, they will pay me 75,000. There are companies. Why? Because there is so much shortage of experienced candidates. Okay, whatever I'm telling, it is correct. I can't reveal the company name. Okay. Even I didn't even ask, give me money, so I'll give you. They said, you give me a good experienced candidate, I'll pay you 75,000. Now then, why I am not able to provide? Will I like to miss 75,000? No, right? But the thing is, experienced candidates, if they just upload their resume anywhere, they get a lot of calls. So experienced person generally won't require support from institute. But if at all you need, we are happy to help you. Even I said other person, right, who is from that university and who got job, I didn't do anything. I didn't even provide. We did. Our whole discussion never went to placement stage also actually. He got an offer by himself. What we might have enabled is with the right set of learning, we have enabled. If he had come to us with saying placement support, I wouldn't have said no. We would have definitely provided. But in the meantime, he himself got it. Even the other person I said who got job by June, even he didn't come to me. By June, he came, told me that I have 3 offers. Now Jasper tool, it is all not related. Let's not get into all this. I don't know. Someone has got some terms. Okay, Jasper tool is related to some formal verification. Okay, so formal verification again nowhere related to functional verification. Don't get carried away by fancy terms, right? Things should be simple. What you are doing, learn it properly. That's all. Jasper, Caliber, Virtuoso, so many things are there. So many tools are there. It's not about so many tools. It's about learning Verilog system, Verilog UVM. Few things what we require in a proper manner. Okay. We want this tool is not required. All these tools are not required because they are into different domains altogether. They are into VLSI, but not into the domain which we are going to get trained into. Okay. Hope it's clear. Currently, I am working in software. Can I move to VLSI? I am graduated as electronics engineer. Before job, I have 3 years of gap. Okay. Depends. See,
Hello.
yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I have posted this question, and I have graduated in 2016. After that, I was preparing for the IES Electronics Engineering Services examination,
Yeah.
and after that, I have joined IT, and currently, I am working as a web developer in IT industry.
What is the company name, if you can tell me?
TDG.
TDG. Okay. See, thing is,
Yeah.
how it works is, if your current company, wherever you are working, current company has
Okay.
any VLSI or any electronics related division, embedded division,
Not actually.
then it's very easy to get in.
Okay.
Okay. Reason is, you do the
Hmm.
training, you show
Okay.
that whatever projects you do as part of the training as the relevant projects for your domain,
Hmm.
I mean to the domain in which you undergo training, and then you move as an experienced person, and the
Okay. Okay.
companies will hire you. There won't be a problem. But now, let's say if you are working in some company which is not relevant to VLSI or embedded system, then only chance is you have to undergo training.
Yes.
You have to join as a fresher mostly. Join as a fresher, and then grow. I mean, then you'll have the career growth after that. So the benefit of having current company as VLSI embedded division will be you will be able to easily find a job because you don't have to convince them that I did work. I mean, they see by seeing the company name. Let's say you are from Wipro, for example. Even if you worked in a networking domain, even if you worked in a software domain, you can always tell that I was into a team which did VLSI. Right? Nobody is going to do so much background check. But if you
Yes.
are in a company where no VLSI, no embedded system, it's difficult to justify that. There, you may have to join as a fresher. But if you ask me what is the chance of my getting job, you can still get a job. There is nothing like you can't get a job. It's all about the right effort and learning the skill set properly.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions you have?
Yep. And
Sir?
hello.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah. What about the gap of 3 years? Means will it will be affect or not?
See, I will tell you one thing. I know people who at 42 years got into job. How? He was a professor, lecturer in one of the college in Chennai. And as a lecturer, actually, the thing is not very good. Actually, even at 15 years experience, they may still be getting 40 to 50,000 per year. So at one point, he decided that no, I don't want to continue as a lecturer, as a professor in a college. whatever, assistant professor or associate, whatever. Then he came, he did a DFT course by 1 year. I mean, it was 12 months. At the same time, there was a COVID. Okay. Then by 1 year, he got a job actually. So there is no, I mean, practically there is no limit for your age. It's your attitude that makes a difference. But of course, I am 55 years. Can I get into job? Chances are very difficult, right? But then, given that you have only 2-3 years of gap, it is possible to get in. That's not a challenge. That's not a problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
Now, offline batch will also start from 28th March. Yes. Basically, how it works is both offline and online training happens parallelly. Students are sitting in classroom and there are students in online. Both batches will run parallel. Even now, there are students in offline classroom and they are attending the training in classroom.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I'm working in Capgemini. Okay, I'm a fresher. Okay, if I take training now, after 6 months, there is Capgemini, there is VLSI side.
Yes.
Can I switch to that after training? By showing this training, I'm trained in VLSI. So, like that, I have only 6 months. From past 6 months, I'm working.
Yeah, for past 6 months you're working. By the time I'll tell you. By the time you complete your training, it will be another 6 months, right? That means you will have 1+ years of experience. With 1+ years of experience, with the right skill set, you don't even need to just dependent on Capgemini itself. You can always look for alternative opportunities also. But even in Capgemini, they can even switch because they have a lot of requirement. Capgemini hires from our institute, at least in recent 1 year, they have been hiring every 2 weeks. They have been hiring every 2 weeks.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So you might be knowing, right? So when they have so many requirements, if the candidate is good, they can always switch, help you switch.
Okay. Okay, sure. Thank you.
If your question is, my suggestion is you should not just rely only on Capgemini. You should look at all the options. There will be many more companies who can still give you better offers also.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not telling that you should switch. I'm telling you that if at all you look, there are many companies who are willing to hire actually. Yeah. As a design verification, GLS is important or not? Next question. Okay. GLS is important, but not essential, but not compulsory. If someone who is new to gate level simulations, it's called as gate level simulations. So for someone into gate level simulations, GLS is important, but it's not compulsory. Okay. So as I will be attending weekend batch, will I get full access to the labs and videos during the weekdays as well? Yes. So you will be getting access to everything, labs and the theory videos, everything you will get access. Next. My master project was an FPGA using Xilinx VRdo tool. I actually forgot how I worked on it. It's been 4 years. I changed my field into tutoring. Can this course help me refresh the concepts? Which course? See, if you are looking for, I think you are already enrolled, as you said. If you are looking at functional verification,
I'm already in verification front-end freshers wala batch.
functional verification fresher course will
Yes,
not focus on FPGA because we have to have a differentiation. See, as I told you, whatever existing topics itself takes a lot of time. Wherever we did, right? With all these things, again, getting into FPGA is not suggested. When you go to the companies, they either hire you as FPGA engineer or they either hire you as a ASIC engineer. So you don't need to have, at least from my perspective, you don't need to have any FPGA knowledge. So typically what we have one policy where you can go for one FPGA short-term course to solve this problem. People who want a FPGA exposure also, there is a short-term course which is offered at some 6,000 something. That you can go for along with the existing course.
Okay, sir. Sir, but won't the interviewers ask me for how I worked on this project for even for verification jobs?
They won't
Because
ask
it's
you.
in my.
See, you can always get a basic exposure. See, what is the Xilinx Vivado? You can always tell that I worked it on 4-5 years back. You can tell that how you did the basic coding and how you did synthesis and put it onto the FPGA board. That much would be sufficient. They probably won't get too much deep into how you did, because as you said, it's been 4-5 years. You can always tell them. That won't be a problem.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? So any other questions? I mean, I hope I have given a brief overview of what is the course and when the course is starting, what all things we cover as part of the course. In summary, just to summarize the course, there are majorly 3 domains for which we are doing the demo today. It is for front-end training for freshers, or you call it as functional verification training, or you can say Rtl design and verification training. All of them are same. All these 3 courses are exactly same, just the different terminologies. Okay. Other than that, there is also a course on Rtl design and integration. There is also a course on FPGA design, system design. Generally, the people who come for FPGA system design is very few. That's the reason I didn't even talk about that. But if there is anyone who is looking for FPGA, there is a dedicated, we can have a dedicated session to cover FPGA also. Other than that, DFT people might have got basic idea about what is flow. There will be a demo session at 3 p.m. So those who have filled that form, demo session registration form, will get the link. If you have mentioned DFT in that form. If you haven't done that, you please fill the form mentioning that I am interested in DFT. Next. And the course is starting from Monday onwards. My suggestion would be, in case you want to join, you have decided to join, do not delay joining. What happens is, let's say you plan to join by Wednesday, you miss 2 days of sessions. To cover up 2 days, lot of backlog happen. So you will spend Wednesday to cover up that, you miss Wednesday's session, and that becomes a bit difficult to catch up unless you spend additional time. So in case you have decided to join, please do not delay joining. How it happens is, you have to pay initially enrollment of 5K and the remaining fee is in 2 installments. I think that our trainer, our admin staff would have told you. Yeah. Any other questions? I have an ambiguity regarding DFT training, as I have basic understanding of scan JTAG. So will that help in me to pursue career in DFT? Yes, it is possible. It is possible. The trainer is very good. I mean, every trainer has their own strength. The DFT trainer is very good. Our course will give you, our DFT course will give you complete flow exposure actually. Many times, some of the courses I've seen for DFT in other places, they only cover scan, compression, and simulations, ATPG and simulations. This is what I've seen in some of the institutes for DFT course. What we do additionally is we teach MBIST, we teach JTAG, we teach the LBIST concepts and boundary scan, which to my knowledge, no one is covering. That will give you the entire DFT flow exposure.
Yes, Srinivas.
Yeah, please tell me.
Like in RTL Design, from Monday to Friday, you will be covering what you will be covering, like RTL Design and Integration course. If I take that one, means in Monday to Friday, what you will cover, and Saturday to Monday, what you will be covering.
Please post that question. I'll understand and I'll answer one by. You can just post that question itself. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. CSC students can also join. Yes. Very much open. The VLSI domain is very much open for students from computer science engineering also. See, you can call those who need numbers. Please call 9986-194-191. This is Institute Manager number. Vaibhav is the name. Okay, please coordinate with him. When will I get the login credentials? Yeah, I forgot his name, Akshit or someone. Okay, you will get by tomorrow. I mean, once you enroll, you will get the login credentials. And you have already enrolled, right? So you will be getting it. Okay. Which domain has more opportunities? Like if we compare DV, DFT, see DV has more opportunities. But then lot of people also undergo training. Lot of people undergo training in DV. DFT has less opportunities. Both are same, right? In that case, currently our situation is such that our situation in DFT is such that there are companies who want to hire 30 plus candidates. We don't even have a single candidate. Really true. Okay. Let's say Capgemini wants to hire 10 people today. We don't have even a single candidate in DFT. Right. Now DB also similar thing. I mean, there are only thing is only disadvantage for DB possibly will be lot of people undergoing training. That could be the only disadvantage. Otherwise, DB has more opportunities compared to DFT. Now, why DB has more opportunities is I said during functional verification, what is the role of functional verification engineer? Is to catch the issues in the 5 lakh lines of code. Now, can this be done by one person? No, right? 5 lakh lines, one person can't verify. So it requires at least a team of 20 people. At least a team of 20 people. Even if you do 20 people division, one person, how much lines comes? Roughly 25,000 lines. So that is where lot of people are required for verification. That is where it has got more opportunities. Now you may ask, is it not true with DFT? Not true with DFT. Is it not true with DFT? DFT doesn't require many people actually. Every team, a team can have, team mostly has around, let's say 10 DB engineers, design verification engineers. Team has maybe 1 or 2 DFT engineers. DFT people will be less actually. So accordingly, very few people undergo training. Is that clear? Next. For RTL design and integration from Monday to Friday. So in this case, what happens is during the weekdays, it will be Verilog, digital design topics will be covered. During weekends, the RTL integration topics will be covered. Because RTL integration topics, I mean lint, CDC, what else? The UPF, LEC. There are some topics I mentioned. I don't have that complete expertise. Okay, the working professionals are there who will be doing the training. They will do that. In this case, actually, it's a mix of videos, mix of video access, plus live weekend training as required. I hope Prashanti, it answers your question.
Yes, Srinivas, thank you.
Any other questions? Verilog, digital design, Linux, scripting, all those things can be done over weekdays. Weekends is where we do the core training, core topics training. Any other questions? So if you don't have any questions, we can end the session here. Okay. Yeah, please tell me.
Said for SV and EVM, what is the cost for that? For that particular
SV and UVM, right? No, please come again. SV, UVM,
Yeah.
what you want to learn? Okay. I told you, right? SV and UVM. SV, I said 23,000. Yeah, UVM is 14K. Like collectively, if you do, it's 36,000.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay. So for experienced engineer, when will the class start? It will start on actually 10th, around 10th April. The system Verilog trainings. The ongoing Verilog batch will complete by around 10th April. Somewhere around that, whichever is the Saturday, around that time, it will start. Then it will continue. So this is the schedule for that. Now you don't need to wait till, you may ask, should I wait till 10th April? You don't need to wait. Till then you can go for SV eLearning course. You can go through the videos and join the live training on 10th. Narendra, please be in mute. Do you have any questions? Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, we'll end the session here. Okay. So if you need any further information regarding these courses, please connect with our manager. This number, his name is Vaibhav. So we will end the session here. Okay. Thank you.